What's going on, guys? It's Creature and welcome to another deck profile on my channel. Again, something a little bit different again this week. I said last week when I did my Master Duel video that I was going to start just doing some different deck profiles instead of your standard format. And today we are profiling speed duels. Speed duel has gained a ridiculous amount of popularity in my locals and many other locals for the release of Speed Duel GX. People picked it up for things like the Secret Dasher, common cosmic cyclones were in there, and a bunch of other staples for the actual game, and then thought they would give Speed Duel a try, and it's definitely increased the popularity of the game. On top of that, Tournament Pack 3 has just come out, so people that are hardcore Speed Duel players are definitely looking for new Speed Duel decks, and I've managed to make one of my favourite decks of all time in Speed Duels, which is Ojama's. Where this ranks in the competitive scale is probably little to none. However, it's a stupidly fun deck, and Ojama King in this format or in this game is ridiculously good. You pull off Ojama King turn 1, you lock out all their main monster zones, and they just cannot summon at all against some of the decks in the meta, which I have had a look, which is like Volcanics are very high. There's a deck called Duck, which is like enchanting fitting room normal monsters. With a skill, I think it's a Cyrus skill that boosts all normal monsters by like 300 by its level, so it makes like Sonic Duck and one of the dragon cards, I can't think what it's called. It makes them all like 2500 beaters, and then you play a trap that I'm also considering, that's like when a normal monster is attacked, it destroys all monsters except normal monsters. I was going to test that in here. As for what build of Ojamas this is, as the title suggests, pure Ojamas. So although we are still playing Ojama Match, there's no spicy Arm Dragon engine in here to get up to Arm Dragon like 5 and 7 and stuff like that. You can play that build. That build is potentially better, but this build is just aimed to try and turbo out your Ojama fusions as quick as possible. But without further ado, we're getting into the deck. It's 25 cards. For those of you who don't know Speed Duels, it's anything between 20 and 30. I opted for 25, which is the middle ground. It actually might even be 26, but it's mainly just because triggering Ojama Match gets you green, yellow, black. You can trigger that potentially twice in a duel. You tend to not to. You're trying to trigger it only once, but that's a big chunk of your deck immediately added to your hand. Your hand side is very big in this deck. The ability to add green, yellow, black, with the ability to add multiple cards off one. You go +1 off a lot of things in this deck, but you just don't get very far with those +1s. But the deck is still a lot of fun, and without further ado, we're going to get into the deck profile. We're starting off with our skill card. This is a Chaz skill card, Land of the Ojamas. It's essentially Ojama Country. Literally, card text is the exact same, which is once per turn you can send an Ojama card from your hand to the graveyard, spec an Ojama monster from your graveyard. While you control an Ojama monster, it switches the attack and defense of all the original monsters. Of course, when the Ojama fusions are summoned, it locks them out of zones. King locks you out of 3, and Knight locks you out of 2. However, King is just generic, it just requires 2 Ojamas, whereas, Knight is just generic, it requires only 2 Ojamas. King will require 3 original trio, which are all, of course, vanilla monsters, which is an issue. But you can ditch your Ojama vanillas off of this to revive your dead fusions, or even blue, which we'll get onto later. This is the main card in Ojamas, and the fact that we have this as a skill card that we can activate at any time means we can get away with playing slightly less countries. Then we move on to the vanillas. You have to play the vanillas in order to make your things. 2 is always the most optimal ratio in real game, if you're ever making pure Ojamas in real life. So 2 is what I went for in Speed Duels. You don't want to draw multiple of each colour of these, because it significantly makes your deck worse, because if you draw 2 yellows, 2 blacks, or 2 greens, you can't trigger Ojama Magic at all, because it has to add green, yellow, and black back to hand. Was tempted to play, I think it's Fusion Gate, which banishes these, and then Fusion Gate can also, Ojama Match can also shuffle them back from the banish pile, allowing you to potentially trigger Ojama Match more, but we opted for non-Fusion Gate at the moment. It's something I've considered, and something I might go to as I play Speed Duels a little bit more. And then the best Ojama monster in the deck is Ojama Blue. For those of you who don't know what Ojama Blue is when this card is destroyed by battle, you can add 2 Ojama cards. Is it with different names? No, it's not even with different names. You can just add 2 Ojama cards from your deck to your hand. There's a lot of good targets for this. We'll get onto those targets now. Most of the targets you add off this thing is spells. And the last Ojama monster we're running is, we just opted for 1 Ojama Red. That glare is really annoying. Ojama Red, although like you read this and you think it's really good, in Speed Duels it's nowhere near as good. You only have 3 monster zones, so you normal this and you get 2 cards off it, like a green and a yellow, and then they just sit there. It helps make a wall, it helps make a defense, but that's literally all it does. Like, in real Ojamas, it's a little bit better because that's potentially 3 or 4 monsters on the board to help you link climb, to help you XZ because they're all the same level. You don't have any access to that sort of stuff in Speed Duels, so it's just additional bodies. However, the red is still good to have because you can wall up at any point. Getting up 3 bodies on the board is really good. Oja Match is one of the cards that we are playing, like we said, and you have to add a Armed Dragon, so we're opting for 1 level 5. We just opted for level 5 just because it's a beta. 2400 is a fairly decent stat line, and you can normal summon this the turn you activate Oja Match. Oja Match, for those that you don't really know, does give you an additional normal summon, so we'll get on to what you can do after with this, but it essentially gives you an additional normal summon, allowing you to then just tribute that summon for your actual normal summon of this. 2400 is decent. We maxed out on polymerizations. You want to see this in your opening hand with multiple Ojamas or ways to get to multiple Ojamas. I've tested 2, I've tested 1. 3 is definitely right. I'm tempted to cut it and then go to change the skill to, is it Fusion Party that lets you like add a poly at any point so that you can just add poly when you are ready to fusion summon and then essentially just stall with the Ojamas until you have green, yellow, black in hand to make king, or vice versa. However, getting to knight and king early, turn 1, turn 2 is super important because it limits your opponent's plays, limiting them zones really quick, and then you can try and get yourself to Ojama, Land of the Ojamas, being able to switch the attack, get rid of that last monster, and then essentially try and make a second fusion to lock them out if you haven't made king immediately. And of course, you know, it's a fusion deck. You want to max out on polys. I feel 3 polys is the correct play. And then we opted for like a lot of 2-offs. So double Oja Magic. When this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, add 1 of each Ojama card, green, yellow, and black. So if you pitch this off Land of the Ojamas, you get to add a green, yellow, black. If you pitch this off the next card, which is Oja Match, you get to add the green, yellow, black. If you pitch this off anything else, you get to add the green, yellow, and black. Unfortunately, it has to add all 3, and it can't add anything else. But green, yellow, and black fused with poly is a free king at any point, which is at worst a 3k beta or a 3k body for walling up. And then double Cosmic Cyclone, really prevalent in this format, really prevalent in this game. Double Book of Moon, this is kind of our like battle trap. To help us like survive. Double creature swap, because giving them Ojama Blue and then beating it over their Ojama Blue, it destroys and resolves in your graveyard. So you get to keep the card and you get to trigger blue. And then a couple of one-offs to round off the deck. We are playing a second copy of Ojama Country, or Land of the Ojamas, essentially, just in case it gets cosmic and you still have access to this. And then the last card we are playing is a Tri-White. This lets you revive 3 level 2 or lower normal monsters from your grave. So, you know, the green, yellow, blacks can just come back and wall up again. The idea is wall up till you see poly, and then poly your way into the fusions. And then the fusions, I only own 2 knight, so I only played 2 and 2. But you just play 3 and 3. Like there's no reason not to. There's no other cards you can make. I have a 3rd king, but it's not secret rare, and it's kind of annoying me. So I just opted for 2 and 2 at the moment. But 1,000,000% 3 and 3. There's no reason not to. But yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna really waffle on. It's speed duel format. The deck is a lot of fun. If you're enjoying speed duels or you know interested in making it, Ojamas is a lot of fun. It's super cheap. I had none of these cards, like in Speed Duel prints. If for those of you who do not know, you have to have the Speed Duel prints to play in Speed Duel events. Every single one of these cards, bar the creature swaps, are Speed Duel prints at the moment. I have bought the creature swaps, they just haven't arrived, so I just opted to get the 2 that were just sat in the back of my binder just to do this spec profile. And this deck cost me, with the Secret Kings, the Secret Book of Moons, and the Secret Polys, you can get them all in common, £18.50, I want to say. I bought like 2 bundles which had like all of the Ojama cards. Then I had to buy, I want to say, the Book of Moons, the Creature Swaps, the Cosmics, and maybe 1 more poly. And then that was it. Like the bundles came with everything else. So yeah, the bundles are on eBay. I think they were like 5 each. And then, like I said, I bought the rest of the things that I was missing. So yeah, Speed Duel's really fun, really cheap. Also, this is an official Speed Duel playmat. These aren't expensive either. These are like £6 at most. I'm probably going to be looking to sell this because you don't need an official Speed Duel playmat to play the game. But yeah, that was it. Speed Duel's a lot of fun. If you enjoyed the video, you should leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's been your boy Screech, guys. We do deck profiles fairly frequently at the moment. I want to get back to doing them weekly, but we're not. But that's enough ranting. It's been your boy Screech, guys. Peace.